after young Dolph passed on November 21st, 2021. His cousin and close associate, Glock, broke his silence on Dolph's passing. However, very little has been heard from him about young Dolph's tragic passing, but we all knew that. Shortly after young Dolph's autopsy, results were released. Glock granted an interview where he revealed the truth about young Dolph's passing and how it affected him. Glock first statement. Young Dolph's happened on the 17th of November. While his family and friend, Glock, however, took his time before commenting on young Dolph's passing. Instead, Glock deleted all his social media accounts following the passing of young Dolph. He finally spoke up a few days later on the 21st of November via his IG story. Although it wasn't a direct tribute, but rather an address to those who have reached out to him since the unfortunate incident. He said, "Stop asking me if I'm okay, knowing well, I ain't," alongside a broken heart emoji. With that message, Glock let the world know he was grieving and wanted to go through the process peacefully. Later on, he gave a proper tribute to his mentor, young Dolph, sharing a post via his Instagram page. Glock posted some throwback photos of himself and young Dolph and captioned them with an emotional message. He wrote, "Bro, I'm lost. My heart is torn. My brain about to explode. It hurts when I breathe." Glock went on to talk about young Dolph was his partner in everything that he did, and he was never going to be the same as his left-hand man was no longer with him. Young Dolph's passing no doubt had a huge impact on Glock, and listening to his perception during his recent interview, it's quite obvious that it would surely take Glock a while to get over the loss of his cousin and mentor, young Dolph.
Words can't even explain like how I really feel about it right now. Yeah. So I try my best to like look over it, but I can't. This shit stuck with me forever.
The interview. Not a lot was heard from Glock after young Dolph passed, and this was mostly because since the passing of his mentor, Glock has been rethinking his career path, and he opened up about it in an interview. According to Glock, finding out the truth about young Dolph's passing has been tough on him, and he has been rethinking his career path since then. When asked about how he felt about the tragic passing of young Dolph, all Glock could say was that he was maintaining.
I'm just wondering how you feeling, how you holding up. I mean, obviously, something that's...
I'm content. I'm all right.
When you say content, what does that mean? Like
I'm maintaining. Like I'm not getting better. I'm not getting worse. I'm just here right now.
Yeah.
The interview host Speedy Mormon asked Glock if he had a routine to help him through this difficult time. Glock replied that nothing could make him feel better, describing himself as numb.
Do you have people close to you that, maybe you're trying to keep your mind occupied, or, maybe you're trying to just distract yourself? What kind of ways have you been?
Man, ain't nothing. Nobody can tell me it ain't nothing I can do that'll make me feel better. I'm just be 100.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
Glock also revealed what he was doing when he received the tragic news of young Dolph's passing.
Do you remember how you found out and where you were?
Never forget, yep.
Where were you at?
I was at home. Laying down, actually. Yep.
And did somebody call you, or?
Somebody called me in the house. Like, how you can hear when somebody call your name, like the tone of their voice, like you know something wrong, you just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Glock rapped about Dolph's passing on the track Proud, which recently appeared on the deluxe edition of his latest mixtape, Yellow Tape 2. I lost my dog, I lost my man. Won't lie, I'm really lost inside. I can get it back in blood, but still, I can't get back the time. And that humble, let's go. You know I'm spazzing out about mine. I got Dolph looking down on me. I know that. Proud, Glock raps. Before that, the only time Glock spoke on Dolph's passing was on Instagram shortly after he passed. In the lengthy post, Glock again described how he felt lost and how he felt that his brain was about to explode. In honor of Dolph's life, Glock got himself a piece of dolphin-shaped jewelry, as the dolphin was young Dolph's symbol. According to Glock, the item was his most expensive piece yet.
Is there a piece of yours you have that's your favorite?
My last piece I just bought a dolphin from Elliot. Yeah, all blue dolphin. My biggest piece too. It's big than this. It make this look
like nothing.
Big, yeah.
There relationship. Listening to Key Glock talk about young Dolph would convince anyone that the two shared a close bond beyond being work associates and having a mentor/mentee relationship. They were brothers and family, and in all, they had so much love for each other. Young Dolph and Key Glock were friends, co-rappers, mentor/protege, and above all, they were family. Key Glock and young Dolph were related as cousins by marriage, but they didn't meet each other until Thanksgiving in 2017. Key Glock shared his tracks with young Dolph and saw talent in Key Glock. Dolph was excited about Key Glock's rap lyrical choices and the availability of dope musical beats for originals. Impressed with just one meeting, Dolph signed Key down to a contract with his prized Paper Route Empire label in 2017, and the duo created their first single, Major, in 2018. The Billboard hit song scooped in further funds and extra income for the rapper, approached by many million-dollar deals, all rejected by Young to ensure his independent rap career. Until his passing, Young Dolph took pride in being an independent rapper. In fact, he got entangled in a short beef with rapper Soulja Boy a week before he passed. That involved Soulja Boy challenging his independence as a rapper. Key Glock and Young Dolph also created full-length albums together. One of their main successful albums in the 2019 album is the 2019 album Dumb and Dumber, which they followed up with Dumb and Dumber 2 in 2021. Sadly, now that young Dolph has passed, Key Glock doesn't feel the same about music anymore. He began with a change of his stage name to Glizzak, then a delay in releasing his music. And finally, it hit the world that Key Glock was pulling back from the scene after he made a tweet that implied that he was going to quit music and choose a different career path. While many fans were convinced that he felt that way because young Dolph was no longer around to give him the push he needed, Key Glock only opened up recently in an interview. When asked what he meant by the tweet, he said he surely wasn't going to go to acting school. But for the music aspect, here's what he had to say.
Yeah, I have my days, put it like that. I'm sometime with it right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm in it, but I'm not in it the same like I used to be, you know?
How come?
You know why, but, you know.
Young Dolph's alleged hitmen. Young Dolph passing touched the hearts of many worldwide, and for this reason, solving his case was treated as a top priority. Barely a month after the unfortunate incident occurred, a couple of suspects were arrested and charged with carrying out the tragic event that took Dolph's life. Suspects Justin Johnson, 23, and Cornelius Smith, 32, were later indicted in the case. They pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder, charges through defense lawyers in Shelby County Criminal Court in February 2022. Johnson, one of the men named in the indictment, was pursuing his own rap career under the name Straight Drop, prosecutors previously confirmed. His now deactivated Instagram account featured a photo posted on November 5th, 2022, in which he was wearing a large PRE pendant on a chain at his waist. On January 6, 2022, the Memphis police identified Justin Johnson as one of the hitmen responsible for the passing of young Dolph. A warrant was issued for his arrest, but he attempted to evade capture, which eventually led the U.S. Marshals, Memphis Police, and Tennessee Bureau of Investigation to put a reward of $15,000 to anyone who had any information on his whereabouts. After his arrest warrant was issued, Johnson did not only try to evade capture, but he also taunted the police. He took to his official Instagram page to post about offering himself up for arrest. Turning myself in Monday at 2:01. I'm innocent. A message posted on an Instagram story on the known Instagram account for Straight Drop, at Straight Drop, said, "I'll be back sooner than you can blink." But instead, Johnson went on to release a track and music video titled Track Hawk. He rapped, "Feds watching on fake pages. Don't up in my camera. Keep my mask. The only time he see my face sees, I'ma blam him." As he posed with a wad of cash in a gas station parking lot. Johnson was eventually arrested on Tuesday, January 12, 2022. A warrant is currently active for Shondell Barnett for his place in the connection. Additionally, Devin Burns and Joshua Taylor have been named as persons of interest. Hitmen appear before the court. The men made their last appearance related to this case back in February, where the two pleaded not guilty. According to their lawyers, it could be some time before this case goes to trial. Reports claim that the state of Tennessee is still turning over documentation and video as of now, so I suppose it could probably be a year or so before we could ask for a trial date. Juni Ganguli said, as of now, both men are co-defendants in the case, and it's still too early to tell if that will change. While the men aren't required to go to trial together, the outcome could depend on the prosecution's case. There's no way to protect your client if a co-defendant chooses to testify against them, and the state wants to use that co-defendant as a witness, Ganguli said. Is that going to happen? I'm not sure, but that is a very real concern. During the hearing, Skoll requested a bond hearing for Smith. Skoll said under Tennessee law, everyone is entitled to a bond with the exception of a capital offense or if someone is seeking the death penalty in the case. He said they hadn't received such notice in the case, so they're seeking a bond. According to Ganguli, Johnson has another matter pending in federal court for unrelated charges. He didn't ask for a bond for his client. He said his client was already detained in federal court with violation of supervised release. He wouldn't be going anywhere, so to speak, even if his bond was ROR, released on one's own reconnaissance. Autopsy results. Almost 5 months after young Dolph was his autopsy results have been released, and they show that the rapper suffered terrible wounds before his passing. According to the autopsy results, young Dolph was 22 times during the crossfire. The findings from the West Tennessee Regional Forensic Center say that Dolph was hit in his left chest, left abdomen, right chin, right neck, right shoulder, both arms, and multiple times in his back, the station reported. Those wounds both include where they entered and exited his body. Young Dolph's aunt, Rita Myers, revealed in an interview that she saw the details online before she saw the actual reports. According to her, she was bracing herself, considering the details already reported by local media. It's difficult to process. This takes us through it all again. We're going through a whole lot right now, and this adds to it, Myers tells Rolling Stone. Young Dolph family speaks. After young Dolph passed, it took a while for his family to comment on the unfortunate event. And just as it was a huge blow to the world, young Dolph's passing was an even bigger loss to his family, especially his longtime girlfriend and mother of his 2 kids. His family's statement expressed their grief and how badly his passing had an impact on their lives. While they were heartbroken over the tragic incident, they were still happy about the times they had him with them and the role he played in their lives. The statement ended with the family saying, "As a family, we were blessed to call him our son, our nephew.